Hello everyone, by Zaster here at Otakon. This is my first ever con. Let's get into it. Okay, so my first stop here is the dealer room. Like I said, this is my first time ever being at one of these. We're gonna see what's here. Okay. So the first thing I noticed was that this place was fucking massive and that I was easily the worst dressed person there. Oh, also, I should mention that I didn't go on my own. I actually went with a few friends, including Ren, a semi-frequent collaborator on this channel. Also, today at the time of this recording, August 8th, is my birthday. And everyone watching this is required to wish me a happy birthday, by the way. Sorry, I don't make the rules. My first stop at the dealer's hall was this place called Cartridges Galore, and it had all sorts of games for all sorts of consoles, and I was really interested in the Nintendo ones, obviously. They had older games like Donkey Kong Country and, wow, a 2-in-1 bundle of Metroid Prime and Wind Waker. I feel like Nintendo employees would get shot dead for suggesting ideas like that today. They had various Japanese versions of N64, Wii U, Switch, and DS games here, including an original cartridge of Super Mario RPG. How cool is that? And check out those Wii and GameCube console bundles. I'd be more excited about getting one of those than a Switch too, honestly. Moving away from the games for a sec, here are some Mario, Kirby, Zelda, and Pikmin plushies. These instruction booklets. Remember when buying new games was actually a really exciting experience and not just something you did to fill the ever-growing void in your heart? Anyways, here's a fuck ton of Wii U, Wii, GameCube, and Switch games, and a lot of used consoles that I was unsurprisingly very tempted to buy. Seeing this OG copy of Pokemon Sun almost made me cry from nostalgia, bro. This was my first ever Pokemon game. They had the OG DK bongos up in this bitch. I have no idea if this Bleach game is good or not, but that cover art is dope. Here's a whole bunch of DS/3DS cartridges. Don't tap the glass. Don't tap the glass. We've got some Kirby and Pokemon figures over here, as well as, I'm pretty sure, every amiibo under the sun. And finally, there were a lot more DS and N64 games, including Mario and Luigi Partners in Time. Moving on, there was this pretty dope stand with cool anime posters and plushies. Next up, I went to Kinokuniya's booth. If you aren't familiar with Kinokuniya, they're a Japanese bookstore, and I actually went to the actual store for the first time on a trip to San Fran in June. And I gotta say, especially compared to the actual storefront, this booth had a really limited display, but it was still really cool, so I'll show you some of the stuff I found. There were some sick-ass CDs. Mother, Metroid Prime, Dandadan, Bleach, 2 Bleach CDs in fact, with some fire-ass track listings. Kill la Kill, Cowboy Bebop, which would have been really cool to have, Xenoblade 2, Bocchi the Rock, and Persona. There were also Bocchi the Rock and Cyberpunk vinyl, so yeah, that shit was sick. They also had a lot of stuff related to the guy she was interested in wasn't a guy at all, including the 3rd volume, although unfortunately it was only in Japanese. I actually have the first 2 volumes. In fact, I got them when I was at Kinokuniya in San Fran, and it came with this pretty sweet shikishi that I'm showing you right here. There was some really cool Delicious and Dungeon stuff, including this art book that I'm really tempted to get, but also really not tempted to spend $24 on. There were some cool Xenoblade art books, except to this day, I cannot find one for the first game, which I would absolutely buy. Can they please make one if it doesn't exist already and put it on display? Having an art book for the greatest game of all time would be fucking awesome. My next stop was another manga shop. I'm pretty sure it was called Trilogy Shop, but I'm only like 62% sure of that because they didn't have a sign or anything, so don't take my word for it. And weirdly enough, it had a fuck of a lot more stuff than Kinokuniya did. I actually made my first purchase of the day at this manga shop. I got Spy X Family Volume 14, which I actually got for 20% off. My next stop was this store that was almost fully dedicated to art books, which I'm pretty sure was called Anime Pavilion, but same case as the last store there. And there were a bunch of sick ones that I'm showing on screen right now, and oh god, that's the pedophile one. I made my second purchase of the day here, and you may be wondering, was it one of the art books I just showed you? Actually no, it was this Bleach art book that I already own. Okay, before you call this a poor spending decision, the one I already have is missing the outer jacket and the poster that comes with it, and I'm planning to sell it. Plus, I got this one on sale too, so it's not a complete waste of money, right? Okay, let's move on. I have been wandering through this, like, what, I forget what it's called, dealer dungeon. I don't remember what the fuck it's called, and I am, like, I have been wandering for at least an hour, maybe 2 hours now, and I'm still like just over halfway through this place. This place is fucking huge, and I'm still finding new shit to look at. After wandering through the dealer room, or dealer dungeon as I referred to it in that last clip for some reason, I finally made it to Artist Alley. My first stop here was the booth of RadioStarkiller, one of my absolute favorite Fire Emblem fan artists. You can check them out on Instagram, Twitter, BlueSky, etc. At their booth, I got two specific keychains, one of Dorothea and one of Marianne. Why those two specific ones? Well, you'll see in a bit. Also, I told them that their art was awesome, so if you were there and also went to the booth, you should have told them the same because their art is awesome. For my next stop, I attempted to get a signature from Allegra Clark, the voice actress behind characters like Maki and Miwa from JJK, Mitsuru from Persona, and Shamir and Dorothea from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Oh, now you see why I got that Dorothea keychain, right? But the line was extremely long and slow, and I had other stuff I wanted to do, so I just figured I could go tomorrow. What was the other stuff I wanted to do, you may ask? Well, I wanted to hit up some panels. And just to clarify, we were not allowed to record video at these panels, so instead, you'll see the occasional picture and just me talking. The first one I went to was for This Monster Wants to Eat Me, an upcoming anime that I'm planning to watch. Ren has actually read the manga for this one, so she was even more excited than I was. And it was clear to see why, because we watched the first episode via a screening, and it was really promising. If you want me to talk about the anime more when it comes out, I'll probably do a review at some point down the line, and even sooner than that, I'll talk about it in my best and worst anime of 2025 video when I make that at the end of the year. So, like, subscribe maybe if you want to see that. In addition to the screening, we also got to see a Q&A with the producer, mangaka, and original manga editor. And it was really cool hearing them talk about something that they were clearly passionate about. The producer showed us a life-size model of the Monster Girl's monster hand, which was fucking sick. I took a picture of it and here it is. She had it custom made to fit her arm. I unfortunately didn't get a picture of her trying it on, didn't whip out my phone in time, but it was really cool, trust me. And you know what was even cooler? She revealed to us that she tried a hamburger for the first time in DC and she liked it. Awesome. And just in case you're curious about why I scribbled out the mangaka's face in every picture that I took, it's because I couldn't find any pictures of her online. Her icon for the con was like a doodle, and she was wearing a mask at the panel, so I figured she probably did not want any pictures of herself online, for example, in a YouTube video, so, you know, that just for privacy reasons. Next up was the event of the day that I was most excited for, a panel for new panty and stocking with garter belt. Anyone who's watched my videos regularly over the past year or so knows about my undying love for Studio Trigger, so getting to see Hiromi Wakabayashi and SUSHiO themselves, who are working as the assistant director and animation director on New Panty and Stocking, respectively, and Hiroki Arai, an animator / animation director for the series, was fucking crazy. Like the previous panel, this one consisted firstly of a screening and then a Q&A. They showed us the first 2 episodes of the series, and although I had already seen the first 2 episodes of the series, it was really cool seeing my friends' reactions to them, especially given how batshit insane the first 2 episodes are. If you haven't seen the new season yet, I'd really recommend it. It's really funny. After the Q&A, people that cosplayed characters from PSG got on stage. God damn it, I knew I should have cosplayed Panty. And there was the most intense game of rock, paper, scissors ever in order to get a Shikishi. Unfortunately, I didn't get one. Technically, I could have cheated during the rock, paper, scissors game, but I respect those guys way too much to do something like that. And besides, everyone got exclusive posters at the end anyways. Now, this is where shit gets crazy. For the reason I stated before, I didn't get any video footage of this, but I will swear on literally anything you ask me to prove I'm not lying about this. SUSHiO himself handed me the poster. Did he hand them out to other people too? Yes, but I got this poster from the dude animating and like animation directing the new season of Panty and Stocking, or at least some episodes of it. Like, bro. Everybody, I am back for day 2. Let's go. My first stop on the second day was Allegra Clark's booth again, which was already very packed again, even though I tried to get there early. But you know what? It was worth it because, it was fucking awesome. I got her to sign my copy of Fire Emblem Three Houses and the Dorothea charm I mentioned earlier, which she was super excited about. And I got a picture with her. Now, you might be thinking, wow, this dude looks like a nervous fucking buffoon.
And you'd be right, I was. I looked like a complete shy idiot up there the entire time. But she was super nice, and it was a really worthwhile experience. Emphasis on the while. That line was fucking long. Oh, also, although I was more than satisfied with getting the stuff I got signed, I really would have liked to have these two prints she had at her booth signed. Those were super cool looking. I didn't expect her to have them at her booth. Next, I tried to get into a Trigger autograph session, but I found out too late that you had to actually register for it. So I did, and I got placed on a waiting list, and that was all that came out of that. I was just on a waiting list for the entire time and never got in. But on the bright side, I took a lot of time that day to get some really great pictures with some really great cosplayers. Not even that went completely well though, because I realized about 8 or 9 pictures in that I had been forgetting to ask people for their permission to include them in the video. I'm not very good at this apparently. I will include and blur these Okarun and Momo cosplayers though, because the Okarun cosplayer gave me one of his golden balls, and I gotta say, getting one of that guy's nuts was the best thing that ever happened to me. Seriously though, after realizing my stupid mistake, I tried my absolute hardest to track down those cosplayers again. Fortunately, I found a few of them, and they seemed really open to being in the video, so that was great, but a massive amount of them are just not going to be included in this just because I'm a fucking dumbass. But to focus on the positive side of the situation, here are the cosplayers that I did get permission from. First of all, I got a picture of this group of Soul Eater cosplayers. In case you're new to the channel, I should say that I am a huge Soul Eater fan. Like, I've seen the anime, of course, and then I also own all 25 volumes of the manga, and I've read them too, of course. And these cosplayers brought their respective characters to life extremely well. As far as I can tell, they didn't have their own cosplay accounts, but they did have a manager of sorts that was with them, and their Instagram is tagged down below. Next up was this group of Delicious in Dungeon cosplayers who, fun fact, will appear again later in the video. As I said in my best and worst anime of 2024 video, Delicious in Dungeon was my absolute favorite anime to come out of last year, so seeing a group cosplaying Laios, Marcel, and Fallon was really cool. And of course, they were all fantastic at representing their respective characters. You can find all 3 of them on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll put their usernames down below. I also found these 2 cosplayers who went as Panty and Stocking. There were a lot of Panty and Stocking cosplayers at this con, which wasn't too surprising given how there were 3 panels related to it at this con, and all of the people that cosplayed them did an incredible job. But I thought that these 2 were especially incredible at pulling off their respective outfits. You can find their shared Instagram account at ryubecca08 below. The final cosplay I got a picture of that day was this sick Dimitri one. The Blue Lions route is hands down my favorite route in Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and Dimitri is such an incredible character. Oh yeah, not to mention, this cosplay's fucking cool, man. Take a look at that lance. The man behind this cosplay is at radiantfratboy on Instagram and TikTok.
Moving on, I got 2 more charms from radiostarkiller's booth. Charms of Petra and Hilda, to be exact.
Fun fact about the Petra one, Ren actually got it for me as a birthday present, so everyone say thank you to Ren.
At 6 p.m. that day, there was a cosplay masquerade, and I had absolutely no idea what that entailed. Ren explained to me that it was pretty much a stage show where cosplayers showed off their cosplays and did other stuff, and I mean, she was right. There are some pretty sick cosplays that I'm showing you right now, and this Freyren cosplayer won the competition. I'm not as familiar with who the cosplayer is, nor am I familiar with the Freyren anime at all, but I was happy for them. The cosplay was great. Next up in the masquerade were well, they referred to them as skits, but a lot of them were kind of just live music videos, and you know what, they were pretty cool. Apparently, Peach can dance to Super Graphic Ultra Modern Girl really well. As for the actual skits, a fair amount of them were pretty funny. I'd especially like to shout out the one that the Laios, Marcel, and Fallon cosplayers from before did. I thought it was great. I liked it.
I gotta admit, especially compared to the other stuff that I saw and did during the con, the masquerade wasn't really my thing. I definitely see the appeal of it. I'd probably be a lot more into it if I was a cosplayer myself, but in the end, it wasn't totally my thing. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, because it was still really enjoyable, and I'm very happy for all of the people that got to participate in it. I started the day off by going with a friend to a Trigger Live drawing panel, which, just in case you're wondering, you did not have to register for. I would know because I checked about 80 times because I was paranoid after what happened yesterday. And this panel was awesome. Like the first panel, we weren't allowed to take videos, but during this one, we were actually allowed to take pictures, so I did get a few. SUSHiO and Hiroki Arai drew these incredible pieces. The first one's Arai's and the second one is SUSHiO's. And we even got to see the two drawings that Arai made on the plane. The amount of talent these motherfuckers have to draw such intricate and incredible pieces in such a short amount of time. Like, dude, I haven't finished a full drawing since June of last year. Oh, and we also got to see some behind the scenes animation footage. Pretty sweet, right? Aside from the drawings, there were some more highlights from the panel. These two fans brought in a crafted version of, Panty's core, which Wakabayashi loved. Here's a picture I got of the two that brought it in, alongside the item in question, of course. If you've seen the first episode of the new season, you know what it is. In addition to that, they gave away more exclusive posters and shikishis. I unfortunately didn't get anything, nor did they answer any of my questions during the Q&A, but the friend that came with me got one of her questions answered, and she got an exclusive poster and shikishi as a result of it. Here's a picture of that happening. Was I bummed that I didn't get anything and didn't have one of my questions answered? Yeah, obviously. But at least one of us got something. Plus, after the panel was over, I waved to Wakabayashi and he waved back. It was when we were near the stage as we were leaving. And that's enough for me, really. Also, be sure to stick around to the end of this video because I actually have another update to this panel that I find pretty interesting. Although luck wasn't entirely on my side during that panel, it was very much on my side when it came time to get a picture with and signatures from Xanthe Huynh, the voice actress of Marianne in Fire Emblem Three Houses, along with many other characters. She was heading off to a panel and then leaving the con for good at 11, and I was one of the last people that made it into the line before they put a full cap on it. Similarly to Allegra Clark, Xanthe was super nice. I went into her booth fully prepared to apologize for coming in while she was probably in a rush, but no, instead she immediately apologized to me for rushing me. Like, what? Anyways, I got a picture with her, and I got her to sign my copy of Fire Emblem Three Houses and the Marianne charm that I brought, and she thought that one was really cute. I'll put a picture of the signed charm up on screen and the signed game, as well as the full signed game case and both of the signed charms. I pretty much spent the rest of the con getting more pictures with cosplayers. First up was this incredible Yoruichi cosplayer. Yoruichi is easily one of the coolest Bleach characters, and dude, this cosplay is cool as fuck. What else do you want me to say? This cosplayer's Instagram username is @RainyStorm3 and her TikTok username is @RainyStorm. I'll put the usernames down below as well. Next up were these awesome Ed and Winry cosplayers. Not only was this a fantastic choice for a duo cosplay, it was also just really well done. Both of the costumes are great. Both of their Instagrams are down below, and as always, be sure to check both of them out. After them, I saw this sick group cosplay of 3 of the 4 main Hunter x Hunter characters, Gon, Killua, and Leorio to be exact. This trio didn't actually have social media accounts that they wanted me to tag, but they were still down to be in the video, which was very good because, like I said, these cosplays are sick. If any of them are watching this video, hi, what's up? Next up were some more Fire Emblem cosplays, baby. I worked up the courage to ask for this photo after doing my nervous white boy stance for approximately 5 minutes, and I'm glad I asked because, man, look how cool these cosplays are. The respective social media accounts are listed right down below. These two people I found were cosplaying Medusa and Excalibur from Soul Eater, and man, these cosplays are fucking sick. I mean, we've got the full Excalibur outfit over here, and then that Medusa cosplayer is just going all out too. I mean, I think those are contacts in their eyes, but I don't really know anything about cosplay, but regardless, it looks fucking awesome. I didn't get the Excalibur cosplayer's Instagram, but papayamiya is the Medusa cosplayer's Instagram. These next two cosplayers consisted of 2 people each, which you probably assumed anyways when I said pairs. First up, these two cosplayed Raku-chan and Koneko-chan from Neon Neko Sugar Girls, and holy fuck, I had to get a picture of them because that series is a fucking classic. And second, there was this duo that cosplayed Lloyd and Yor. It should go without saying, but they absolutely pulled off their respective outfits and were awesome. Also, off topic, but there was like a bunch of like family cosplayers there that did like Lloyd as the husband, Yor as the wife, and then Anya as the daughter, and it was absolutely like adorable every time I saw a group like that. There was one family even had like another kid as Becky. It's really cute. Obviously, I didn't include them because I'm not gonna just like put a picture of a kid in a YouTube video, but you know. The final cosplayer I got a picture of was this incredible female Byleth cosplayer. Yeah, that's right, I closed out the day by getting a pic with yet another Fire Emblem cosplayer. Ren and I actually talked to her for a while, and she was really cool and nice. You can find her on TikTok with the username of at kunsdirtysock, and that was pretty much my Otakon experience. I'm really glad that I decided to go this year because I feel like I opened my mind up to just a completely new experience and had a really good time when I did. It was like being transported into a world full of like so many like-minded people. Did I get to do everything I was hoping to do? No. Did I get everything that I wanted? No. Did I lose the will to live when I saw booths with names like Otaku Sense and panels with names like this? Yeah. Did the con rely on the most piece of shittest app I've ever had the displeasure of using for scheduling? Yes. But overall, it was honestly some of the most fun I've had in my life. I'm so glad I went, and I would be so down to go to another con next time. Hopefully, the next one I will be more prepared for, because nope. Now, what was I gonna tell you before I go? Well, in my opinion at least, it's pretty wild. On the way out of the live drawing panel, my friend handed Hiromi Wakabayashi a Pokemon card, and I found out later that day that he actually posted about it on his Instagram story. After my friend and I collectively lost our minds about it over a call, I replied to Wakabayashi's Instagram story, and he actually sent me a response. Maybe this is a lot less cool than I'm making it out to be, but I don't know, I thought it was a really nice end to my whole con adventure. But yeah, with that said, that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you so much to all the incredible guests that made appearances and were super nice, like Allegra Clark and Xanthe Huynh, and the people from the Trigger team. Thanks to the fantastic cosplayers who agreed to be a part of this video. Be sure to check them out once again. And of course, thanks to my friends that convinced me to go in the first place. I hope to catch you all in the next video, so please consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and all that stuff. This is Bizaster signing off.